Hello everybody, how's it going? It's your boy, Snake Martin, and I'm back with another video for you. Today I have a cat. He's decided to grace us with his presence, Lord Axel. He is here and he is trying a nap, so hopefully he doesn't get sick of my voice doing this video. So if he does disappear, you know why. I am here today to discuss games that I think many people like, that I personally do not. So they're not in any way bad games. If anything, I'm kind of sad that I don't like them. They're well loved in the community, but for some reason, and I'll discuss today, I just don't get on with them. And I'd love to know, what games do people love that you personally don't? Let me know. Could it be like a Metal Gear game? Could it be a Dark Souls? Dark Souls, I feel, is quite an easy one to dislike because it's so hard. So first up, I'd like to discuss the rebooted trilogy of the Tomb Raider games, but also the old ones as well. I never really played the old ones. I was a very young boy, maybe about 6 to 8 years old, when Tomb Raider was gracing our presence on the PlayStation 1. And at this point in my life, I was growing up with 2 older sisters, and I thought that girls in general were icky. So the idea of playing as Lara Croft at the age of 6 to 8 was one of those where I was like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather be a marsupial like Crash Bandicoot or a dragon like Spyro. And that, in my heart of hearts, is still how I feel about Tomb Raider. Not really, I'm joking. But today I want to talk about the reboot trilogy. So the one where Lara Croft kind of starts off and she gets dumped on an island and she's all injured and she's been stabbed with a stick and she's got to get on with it. She's got to craft her way through the island and get to the other side, I'm guessing, while raiding a few tombs. Now, I've tried this game a few times and I just don't get on with it. I know it's very loved. It has to be very loved because they've made 3 of them. They made Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I think. I know the 3rd one wasn't as well received, but the 2nd one is definitely very loved indeed. I just don't get on with them, and I've never played 2 or 3 because of the 1st one. I would imagine that the sequels are very similar to the 1st. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but I just never could get into those games. I really appreciated the graphics. I mean, I think originally it came out on the PS3 and the 360, and it got ported to the PS4 in the Definitive Edition, which is the one I tried. And yeah, I just couldn't get into it. I didn't mind the whole combat of the game. It felt like they were trying to stray away from things like Uncharted. It felt like it was going down this very kind of gritty, realistic thing. And I could appreciate that, but I just didn't get on with the game. I just couldn't get into the crafting aspect of it. It just felt like I had to go around collecting things for the sake of it to get new stuff. Something about the Tomb Raider reboot for me just didn't stick well, and I don't know what it is. Maybe deep down I still think Lara Croft is icky, although she's an absolutely stunning, stunning character in that game. I just couldn't get on with it. Weird, but it is what it is. And I'm sad. But I'm less sad now because I know that they've kind of stopped doing those trilogy reboots now, and they seem to be going down a much more classic Tomb Raider vibe going forward with that newly announced one about Atlantis, I think. But yeah, I'm sad about Tomb Raider, but not as sad as I can be about games that I don't like, that everyone else does. Now, another big one for me is a whole genre that I've tried a few times, and that is the MMORPG, the massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Now, when you say it like that, you can understand why they decided to abbreviate it. Now, I love an RPG. I love all sorts of role-playing games where you get to get really stuck into a character, especially those ones where you can make your own characters. These games allow you to do that. They are some of the most popular games on the internet. For example, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV. However, I can't get into these games. I don't know what it is. I tried at a young age. My friend Dave, shout out to you, was huge into WoW growing up. He tried WoW, he was into Lord of the Rings Online, I think he liked Guild Wars as well, and I just remember going round his house and sitting there watching him play and was bored. He was on the PC and I'd be watching for ages being like, so you just like run around and like do these fetch quests and stuff? And he was like, yeah. Although I was probably higher pitch back then, like, so you go and do fetch quests? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, so you just click the mouse on the bad guy, is it? It sounds like my impression of my mum. That's problematic. I just find that they aren't, I don't know, fast-paced enough. And maybe they become that after you invest a lot of hours into it. I've seen the classic Leroy Jenkins raids and stuff like that on World of Warcraft. Leroy Jenkins! But I just never could commit myself to it that much. The most I think I ever did was back when I was in school, and my friends Owen and Leighton, shout out to them, I remember that they were big into RuneScape, so much so that they bought the subscription for it. Now, I never would do that. I didn't like RuneScape that much. I thought it was fine, but it was click, harvest wood, harvest wood. The gameplay itself is something that I just don't get on with. I think that's mainly the reason. I love the idea of Final Fantasy XIV, which I've tried, because I've heard that the story is absolutely epic in it, but I just can't get into the games. I just find the whole mechanic of doing a move, waiting for a gauge to go around, to do it again, to wait for a gauge, to do it again, almost where it's automated at times, right? It's just something that doesn't gel well with my brain. I just don't like people, I think, which is ironic because I love people. What are you gonna do? Now, this one is probably the one that makes me the most sad, and I've played one of the games quite a lot. I actually had a demo of the very original one going back years and years and years. I think it came free with a Devil May Cry game. But that game is Monster Hunter, the series of Monster Hunter. I tried playing Monster Hunter World. I actually own it twice, maybe more than that. I've got a steelbook up there and I've got the normal case. And I just don't like the grind of it. Now, I know lots of people love to get stuck into a game, grinding, crafting, really getting into the nitty-gritty when you're harvesting these monsters and upgrading your armor and getting better weapons. And the weapons in Monster Hunter are so cool. I literally the other night watched my mate Addy. Shout out to Azzy. He'll cry with happiness if he watches it this far. He was playing Monster Hunter Rise, I think, using bagpipes as a weapon. That was amazingly cool to me, but I just couldn't bring myself to get on that grind again. And this one makes me sad because I think it looks like a really fun game to play with friends. Maybe I played World on my own a bit. I remember playing it with my friend very briefly, just the two of us. And it was fine. That grind of having to do multiple levels, like the same level to get to the harder monsters and the bigger monsters, and that rinse and repeat of that gameplay loop is just something that I can't get on board with. For me personally, I think I could get into it if the progression of the game was nicer. So, for example, if you didn't have to grind as long to get those bits for your armor, etc., that would probably keep me in. Because I actually thought the gameplay was really fun. I really like the idea of taking down these big beasts, these monsters. And I love the lore behind the game. I love that you get a cat. I think the Calicos, to be your friend and he helps you out in the battles. I think that's so cool. But I just can't get on board with that grind. Thinking about it is that maybe I have an issue where I don't know if I respect games that don't respect our time anymore. And that, for me, is something that I think Monster Hunter is kind of guilty of quite a lot. I do want to try it again. Getting into it, really stuck in with a few mates would be fun. But it is the one on the list that does make me feel quite sad. Next up is Ghost of Tsushima. Now, Ghost of Tsushima, I've tried this one. I think I pumped about 60 hours into this game and never finished it. It follows a very similar gameplay loop as what Ubisoft does with a lot of their games. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. You have a big open map, you explore the map, you get like towers, things like that. Find little side quests as you go, find collectibles, all that jazz. And I think Ghost of Tsushima and probably Ghost of Yotei as well are the best way that they could be done. I don't think Ubisoft could make an Ubisoft type game as good as what Sucker Punch has done with the Ghost series. I tried really hard to get into this game. I actually tried playing it just before Christmas, and I had to switch it off in the end. I was done. I was happily done. I do not think that that game respects your time as a gamer, because it's just too big. It's so big. You explore the map and the combat is exceptional. It's so fun. I think it's a great story premise, really, of the time where the Mongols kind of come to invade Japan. But I just found the side quests and just the open world part of it so dull. Now I tried to make myself stick with it, but every side quest was fairly similar. Go into a little broken down house that's been ransacked by the Mongols. They need help. You go somewhere, either follow some baddies or sneak around, kill them, they thank you, move on. And it just felt meaningless. It felt meaningless. It felt like I was just doing a chore to get new items or to get new abilities. And I just didn't enjoy that part of it. I really love the really cool main story about how these Mongols come to invade, and the fact that they take your uncle, who's like your father figure really, who helped you teach you the ways of the samurai, and the weird internal conflict that you have by being this ghost, which is kind of has no honor, I think is really interesting. But the fact that the game is plagued by this massive open world is the thing that switches me off big time. I'm not going to buy Ghost of Tay because of it. I might have a go of it at some point just to see if it comes on PS Plus or something like that. But I haven't got any interest in playing those games. Same with the Ubisoft games these days, like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed is a series I'm done with. I'm just done with that kind of open world formula that I feel has been overdone far too much. I get that a lot of people love these games. They'll invest a hell of a lot of time into this one game. But for me, I need to play different games a lot. And yeah, it's not my cup of tea, I'm afraid. Which is very upsetting, because I did love the story. Maybe I'll watch the story on YouTube. That might be a better way to experience it. I want to put a quick one in. Super Mario 64. Everybody loves this. I think you're all mad. You've either played this as a child, or you have masochistic properties in your brain. I played this for the first time a few years ago, and it was awful. Awful to play, controlled awfully. That mustached man has given me many a nightmare. I felt trolled by the game multiple times. I think it's come a long way. Sunshine is aeons better, and I haven't even tried Galaxy yet. Super Mario 64 can get in the bin, mate. I appreciate that it is genre defining. It kind of helped make open world games, if you want to put it that way. It made adventure games. It made games 3D. I know a lot of people love that game, and maybe it's because of your childhood, but it wasn't a part of mine. And for that reason, get away from me, Mario, you smelly little man. He really, really upsets me the more I think about him. Tell me in the comments how wrong I am. I dare you. Final Fantasy is a series that I absolutely adore. I think they're amazing. There's a lot that I haven't played. I've not really touched many of the 2D ones, but since 7 onwards, I have been an avid fan. There's one game in the franchise, apart from Final Fantasy XIV, which I've kind of mentioned, is one that I actively hate. And I've hated it for nearly 20 years. And that is Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX, I loved the game. I remember having vivid memories of Zidane, Garnet, Vivi, the gang. I thought they were cool. I loved the music, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Amazing music in the game. I remember there was a stage fight that was really fun and tongue-in-cheek and silly. There was a humour to the game that the other ones didn't have up to that point that I'd played. 4 discs on the PS1, and I remember playing disc 1, finished disc 1, I think I finished disc 2, and I got to a point on disc 3. Now disc 3 had a moment in the game where you were forced to play as a different member in your party, like they got split up, and you had to get to your party. I never got to the rest of my party, yet I spent a lot of time So much time that this is a core memory, even though I can't remember anything before it, and I vividly remember what this room looks like, I think. It's like 2 circles like this with lights on, and there's a gate there, and you have to get through the gate by doing this puzzle about turning on or off lights. I have never opened that gate. I tried and tried and tried to get through it. I haven't been back to that game. I haven't put it on. The data is probably still on a memory card that I'm looking at right now, and I'm too scared to go back. But will I? You're goddamn right I will. I will play that on stream one day, and I'll probably love it. But until that day comes, I actively hate Final Fantasy IX because it hurt my soul, so much so that I still feel the pain as if it was yesterday, 20 to 30 years later. What is wrong with me? Too many things. Finally, we have Minecraft. Minecraft is a game that I actually adopted to very early on. I think I got this game when it was in beta, maybe in early access or whatever. I remember I had to download it from Mojang's website, okay? I'd not put and I wanted to get stuck into it. I remember installing the game, I remember clicking play, and my PC couldn't run it, which sounds hilarious nowadays. My PC barely had a graphics card. It was mainly a work PC for my family, and that was a sad day. Eventually was able to play it when it came to 360. I loved the game. I thought it was fun. I liked exploring. Everything was cool to me if it was diamonds. I had a lovely time. But as I grew older, I started to find the game more and more repetitive, and I didn't want to play it as much. And then all of a sudden, they brought in creative mode. Now, creative mode, as everybody knows, is that mode that you can just do whatever you want with it. At this point, I think I was kind of done with it. Now I appreciate Minecraft from afar. I don't like playing Minecraft anymore. I think maybe if I got a group of friends together, maybe we could build something, have a bit of a good laugh. It'd be fine, but it wouldn't be something I would dedicate much time into. I think it's cool. I like seeing what people have built. I love the fact that some people have made computers in a computer game with the whole electricity system thing in the game now. I just think it's amazing and a genuine marvel, but just not for me. And I'm happy to appreciate that game from far, far away. Those are some games that I'm pretty sure that everybody likes, or most people like, that I don't. And it feels kind of nice to get that off my chest. So what are some games that everybody loves that you don't love? I'd love to know in the comments, so please let me know. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, whatever you're doing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone, and toodaloo.
We're